There is a silence in Windsor that says more than words ever could. Not the silence of peace, the silence of something unspoken, tense, weighted, like a letter never sent, or a door quietly locked behind someone you once called family. That silence, today, stretches between two figures at the heart of the royal family. Catherine, Princess of Wales, and Prince Andrew, Duke of York, no longer in title, but still in presence. The woman seen as the future queen, and the man long considered a liability. What lies between them is more than scandal. It is legacy, reputation, the careful rebuilding of an institution marred by decades of bruises and, in some cases, deep wounds. And it is now clear, Catherine will not let that restoration be undone. Not by the past, not by scandal, and not by Andrew. Before we dive in, there's something I need to share with you. Over the past few days, thousands have watched these stories unfold, but most haven't subscribed. If you're one of them, I invite you now to join us. Subscribe to Crownverse so you never miss the next chapter in this unfolding royal history. In recent days, reports suggest a quiet reckoning is unfolding, one shaped not in the form of speeches or public decrees, but in subtle shifts of distance, in residence, in titles, in proximity. And at the center of this tension is a woman who has said, not in words, but in action, enough. Sources close to the palace say Catherine is deeply disappointed, that she feels betrayed, and that her patience, long seen as one of her great virtues, may finally be running out. To understand why, we must first return to the man at the heart of the storm, Prince Andrew. Once a celebrated naval officer, a young hero of the Falklands War, and known affectionately in the press as Randy Andy for his nightlife in the 1980s, over the years he became something else entirely. His name now evokes a different kind of notoriety, one tied to accusations, settlements, and associations that the Crown can no longer ignore. The Duke of York's ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein have haunted the royal family for over a decade. Though Andrew has consistently denied all allegations of wrongdoing, the court of public opinion has rendered its own verdict. His disastrous 2019 BBC interview, widely criticized for its tone deafness and lack of remorse, marked the beginning of his formal exile from royal duties. In the years since, he has withdrawn from the public eye. He was stripped of his military affiliations and patronages. And in January 2022, Queen Elizabeth II, his mother and by many accounts his most steadfast supporter, removed his HRH style. It was, as one royal aide described, her final act of duty over devotion. But what of now? In October 2025, amid renewed allegations, this time from a posthumous memoir by Virginia Giuffre, Prince Andrew issued a statement. He announced that he would voluntarily cease use of all titles, including Duke of York, and his role in the Order of the Garter. Again, he reiterated his denial. I vigorously deny the accusations against me. But for many, including reportedly Catherine, the damage had already been done. Because even as titles fall away, presence remains. And it is that presence of Andrew and of his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson, still residing at the Royal Lodge in Windsor, that is once again drawing quiet ire from within the palace. Sources now claim that Prince William and Catherine are urging Andrew and Sarah to vacate Royal Lodge, the expansive 30-room residence leased from the Crown estate. Their concern is not about square footage, it is about symbolism, about proximity, about what it means when a man accused of such serious allegations continues to live within one of the monarchy's most historic estates, while the institution tries desperately to move forward. According to insiders, Catherine believes that Andrew's continued occupation of Royal Lodge gives him an unwelcome prominence within the family. And this time, she's not prepared to turn away. More than one source has said she feels personally let down, that she once admired Sarah Ferguson, Fergie to the public, for her resilience and grit, that she hoped, perhaps, for quiet redemption. But with leaked emails showing Sarah calling Epstein a supreme friend, and with charities stepping away from her name, that hope has turned to disappointment. And Catherine, they say, doesn't do drama. She does duty. She does stability. She does control. For a woman who is, herself, navigating a personal health battle, quietly undergoing cancer treatment, as confirmed earlier this year, the need for order, calm, and trust inside the royal circle is not just strategic, it is personal. One insider put it bluntly, Kate's done trying to mend things. She's had enough of the chaos. This is not vengeance. It is vision. Catherine, along with William, is said to be preparing for the future, for the crown. And in that vision, there is no room for scandal. Together, the Prince and Princess of Wales have moved their family into Forest Lodge, a quiet, discreet residence nestled within Windsor Great Park. It is a place chosen reportedly for its privacy and its long-term potential. A family home for now, a future royal base when William ascends the throne. Forest Lodge is part of a larger strategy, one rooted in streamlining, modernizing, and, above all, setting boundaries. And yet, just a few miles away, Royal Lodge remains, towering, ornate, a symbol of past indulgence, now awkwardly out of place in the new royal landscape. It is said that the couple, William and Catherine, do not want to risk bumping into Andrew and Sarah, that such encounters are not merely inconvenient, but damaging, that their children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, are being raised in a new era of monarchy, one defined not by proximity to scandal, but by service, restraint, and moral clarity. It is easy to dismiss this as internal drama, but it is more than that. It is about legacy, and it is about who gets to define it. For decades, the royal family has operated under the weight of contradictions. Public duties performed in the midst of private collapse, smiles on balconies hiding dysfunction in corridors. But William and Catherine are said to be done with that duality. Their goal is singular, to protect the crown for their children. And that means making choices that are not popular, that are not easy, that may feel to some like betrayal. But Catherine is no longer trying to patch over cracks. She is choosing the foundation. In relinquishing his titles, Andrew has made a symbolic retreat. But symbols are not enough. And if the whispers are true, if the Waleses are indeed pushing for Andrew and Sarah to leave Royal Lodge, then it is clear the retreat must be physical too. They must go. And yet, for all the clarity of that position, the path forward is anything but simple. Royal Lodge is under lease, not gift. Andrew pays for its upkeep. His legal rights are protected. Forcibly removing him could provoke unwanted scrutiny. The monarchy, ever cautious, rarely acts with haste. It nudges, it signals, it waits. But Catherine is not waiting anymore. She is stepping into a role she never asked for, protector, not just of a family, but of a dynasty. It is not vengeance she seeks, it is stability. And yet, the irony is impossible to ignore. That the woman once dismissed as a commoner, a girl from Berkshire, a university roommate turned royal bride, is now the moral compass of the crown, while a son of the Queen, born into privilege, into protection, has become its liability. What does that say about the future? And what does it say about now? We do not yet know if Andrew will leave Royal Lodge. We do not know if Sarah will fade from view or try to claw her way back. What we do know is this: the Waleses have drawn a line, not in anger, in resolve. And behind that line stands a woman who has seen enough, endured enough, and decided, once and for all, that her family's name will not be dragged through one more scandal. Catherine is not raising her voice. She is not calling press conferences. She is not storming gates. She is simply closing the door. And in that quiet, deliberate gesture, a new chapter begins. One defined not by virgedness, but by fortitude.
Not by tradition, but by transformation. And so we ask, is this the final fall of Prince Andrew, or merely the beginning of his slow fade into royal exile? And in protecting the crown, how far is Catherine willing to go? What happens when loyalty to family threatens the legacy you are bound to protect? In the House of Windsor, some ties are broken not by force, but by silence, by distance, and by the firm, unshaking hand of the future Queen.